Raise your hand if you've been told that the weight gain, the exhaustion, the brain fog, the joint pain, it's just part of having an autoimmune disease, that it's just what your life looks like now, that you'll just have to manage it. That's what I was told too, for decades. And I am here to tell you today, it is not the whole story. Welcome to the Feel Better, Live Free podcast, brought to you by Thinlicious. I'm your host, Lisa Joy Thompson, and every week we bring you the science, the stories, and the straight talk you need to feel better and live free. From real food to hormone health to breaking free from yo-yo dieting for good. This is the show for every woman who's ready to stop surviving and start thriving. Settle in, friend. What you're about to hear might just change everything. Okay, friends. I want to start today by telling you a little bit about my own story. And I want you to know that I have actually been where you are. I'm not coming at this from the outside looking in. I have lived it. I was diagnosed with multiple autoimmune diseases in my teens and 20s. Hashimoto's thyroid disease, Raynaud's, lupus, and other things as well. And that means I spent most of my life, period, feeling sick and exhausted before I ever had a reason to feel sick and exhausted. I was in pain. I was tired all the time. I was watching my own life happen from behind this fog of fatigue and joint pain and headaches. And I had been told in subtle and not so subtle ways that this was just my reality, that this was just what being me was going to feel like. And the other piece of this, I spent years on high-dose steroids as part of treating my lupus. Years. And if you know what steroids do, they help to manage my disease. So they did what they were supposed to, but they also caused me to gain weight. And they were quietly damaging my bones in ways that I'm still dealing with today. So my weight gain wasn't just about willpower or what I was eating. There were real medical reasons my body was working against me. And by the time I hit my heaviest, I weighed 288 pounds. And I had tried everything. Every diet you can name, and probably some you've never heard of. Low fat, low calorie, programs, plans, challenges, counting, tracking, measuring. And I would lose some weight, and then it would come back, usually with a little extra on top. And every single time I told myself the same thing, that I was the problem. Something was wrong with me. I just wasn't disciplined enough or strong enough or motivated enough. But here's what I didn't know then, and here's the part that still gets me. Every time I went to the doctor, for any reason, whether it had anything to do with my autoimmune issues or not, I was told the same thing. The doctor would say something like, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. And then he'd run some tests. And if the test didn't give him a clear answer, then he'd say something like, it's most likely autoimmune related. Also, it would probably help if you lost some weight. Every time. Every single appointment. That was the whole conversation. I don't know. It's probably autoimmune. Oh, and lose some weight. Like that was the treatment plan. And in all those years of being sick, of being on medications, of being told to try harder and eat less and move more, only one doctor ever asked me about how I was fueling my body. One. And he mentioned kind of in passing that changing the way I ate might help with inflammation. That was it. He didn't give me a meal plan, like he didn't follow up. He just dropped that idea in my lap and moved on. And honestly, I didn't know what to do with it. I filed it away. I didn't have a framework. I didn't have support. I didn't have anyone walking me through what that actually meant for someone like me, with my conditions, with my history, with everything that I'd been through. And that's the thing nobody talks about. Sometimes the right information shows up at the wrong moment with no instructions attached. And it can take years or decades before you find your way back to it. And friend, that was the missing piece. Okay, so let's get into it. Why is it so much harder for women with autoimmune conditions to lose weight? Because I want to be honest, it is harder. It's not in your head. And it's not because you're weak. There's actually a really clear explanation. And once you understand it, the whole picture starts to make sense. There are three things going on, and they are all connected. Number one, autoimmune disease creates chronic inflammation. So here's what autoimmune disease actually is. Your immune system is supposed to attack invaders, viruses, bacteria, things that don't belong. But with autoimmune conditions, your immune system gets confused and it starts attacking your own tissues. Your thyroid, your joints, your blood vessels, your connective tissues. Whatever the specific condition is targeting, that's what it attacks. And that creates inflammation. Not the kind you see like a sprained ankle that's red and swollen. This is a low-grade, chronic, constant inflammation that's happening inside your body, day after day after day, year after year. And it's like a slow fire that never quite goes out. And that fire affects everything. It affects your hormones. It affects your metabolism. It affects how your body stores and burns fat. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, chronic inflammation drives insulin resistance. So here's where it gets really important. When your cells are inflamed, they stop responding properly to insulin. Insulin is the hormone that tells your body what to do with the food you eat, burn it for energy or store it as fat. And when your cells become insulin resistant, your body has to pump out more and more insulin just to do the same job. Your blood sugar, it stays elevated. Your body stays in fat storage mode. And here's the kicker. High insulin actually blocks fat burning. So it physically locks the fat in your fat cells. So you can eat what looks like a perfectly healthy diet. You're eating salads and whole grains and fruit smoothies and low-fat yogurt, and your body is still in storage mode. Not because you're doing anything wrong, because the inflammation is in the driver's seat and your hormones are responding to it. Number three, your thyroid is part of this too. If you have Hashimoto specifically, there's another layer. Your immune system is attacking your thyroid gland, which is the master regulator of your metabolism. Even when your TSH, the one number most doctors test, looks fine on paper, your body might not be converting T4 to T3 properly. And T3 is the active form of thyroid hormone, the one that actually does the work. So your metabolism is running slow. You're cold all the time. You're tired. Your hair is thinning. And you're being told, oh, your labs look really good, because they didn't run the right ones. So put it all together. Inflammation, insulin resistance, and thyroid dysfunction. And you have a hormonal cascade that makes weight loss nearly impossible. Not because of your willpower, but because of biology. And it is not your fault. So here's what finally worked. And I want to be really careful here because I am never going to be the person who tells you that food cured my autoimmune disease, right? I still have Raynaud's. I still have lupus. None of that went away, although my Hashimoto's numbers are phenomenally good right now. But what did change, and dramatically, was how my body felt and how my body worked and how my body responded. I cut out sugar and processed carbs. I started eating real whole food, meat, eggs, healthy fats, vegetables, the food my body actually needed to function. And things started to shift. My energy came back, the brain fog lifted, the joint pain got better, the inflammation went down, and the weight finally started to move. But here's the moment I think about the most. For years, I suffered from chronic migraines and cluster headaches. And if you have ever had a cluster headache, you know they are not something you push through. They derailed days, plans, whole weeks sometimes. They stole moments with my kids that I can't get back. And as I started eating this way, not all at once, but over time, the headaches got quieter and quieter and quieter. And eventually, they almost completely went away. I didn't fully realize how much of my life those headaches had been stealing until they stopped. That is the moment that was such a game changer for me. Honestly, I spent time in the hospital when I was in high school for those headaches. And it wasn't until I was in my 40s that they stopped. And that's when I knew this wasn't a diet. This was healing. I'm not telling you food cured my autoimmune diseases. I'm telling you my body finally got what it needed. And the difference was profound. So profound. It has been 8 years. I've lost over 100 pounds. I'm maintaining it. My energy is steady. My labs are better. And I can get on the floor and play with my grandkids without thinking about my joints, right? That's the real win, not the number on the scale, the life on the other side of it. Okay, so if any of this is hitting home for you, if you're nodding along thinking, this is me, this explains so much, here's where I want you to start. 3 things, right? 3 things that you can do this week to start moving in the right direction. Number 1, cut added sugar and grains for the next 10 days. Not forever, 10 days. I want you to notice what happens to your energy, your joint pain, your brain fog, your sleep when you cut out sugar and grains. Just pay attention because sugar and grains are the biggest drivers of inflammation we just talked about. And 10 days is enough time to actually feel the difference. Okay, number 2, add real protein to every meal, especially breakfast. I want you to aim for 30 grams of protein at breakfast. I know that sounds like a lot if you've been doing like yogurt and toast for years, but protein is what stabilizes your blood sugar, keeps your insulin steady, and gives your body the building blocks it actually needs. So think eggs, cottage cheese, leftover chicken or steak, whatever you'll actually eat. Okay, and number 3, ask your doctor for a full thyroid panel. Not just TSH, you want free T3, free T4, reverse T3, and thyroid antibodies. If your doctor pushes back, you can advocate for yourself. You deserve to know what's actually going on with your thyroid, not just a number on a screen. And if you want help putting all of this together, if you want a real plan, real support, real community, that's exactly what we do inside of Thinlicious. Phase 1 of the Thin Adapted System walks you through exactly how to cut sugar, get your protein up, and start healing the inflammation that's holding you back. Here is what I want you to take away from today, more than anything else. You are not broken. Your body is not the problem. You have been working with bad information, and the minute you give your body what it actually needs, it will start to respond. I have seen it in my own life. I have seen it in thousands of women's lives inside of our program, and I want to see it in yours. So if you're ready to take the next step, head on over to thinlicious.com/happy. We've got a free training that walks you through exactly how to start healing your metabolism. And it's the same approach that's helped thousands of women over 40 finally feel like themselves again. That's it. If this episode's been helpful, I hope you'll share it with a friend that also needs to hear it. I'll see you next week. And until then, feel better and live free.